what's going on with Tottenham? I know you're losing out to Conor Gallagher. Your number one boy is gone. What's going on with you lot? Because again, I see very little activity around Tottenham. Yeah, but is it, when you say a lot, is it stuff that's going to interest the wider footballing world or just you, mob?
Just us, mob. Like,
not a lot's happening
then. Ramsey, the likelihood is that's going to go through the swap deal. Ramsey from Villa for Lo Celso. You know who Jacob Ramsey is.
Oh, my God. Ramsey, wow. What a deal.
Well, like, see, I don't think he's the best player in the world. I don't think he's going to excite a lot of people, but it makes sense for both parties. The club have announced today that Bryan Gil and Sergio Reguilon will both be sold. And Victor Gyökeres is now there's concrete links in Portugal.
Gyökeres. Now that's a deal I like.
And so Richarlison to Saudi.
Yeah, I've seen Richarlison to Saudi. Million. That just makes sense. Biggest waste of £60 million in Premier League history. Gyökeres. You think you could take Gyökeres from under the nose of your North London rivals?
I don't think, I've said this 100 times. They don't need a striker. They need depth and they need wide players.
That's not the question.
And we've got I'm not getting all myself giddy because I don't think we're going to pay 80 million for a player anyway. But there is a bit of a Swedish vibe going on at Spurs. One more Swedish player isn't gonna hurt. And if we get 60 million for Richarlison, we better go in for a number 9.
Sorry to be ignorant. Who are the other Swedes at your club?
Bergvall and Kulusevski.
Yeah. Bird who?
Bergvall, he looks half decent, to be fair.
Who is he?
He's 18. He's going to start a lot of games because Madison will probably break his leg after a first month.
I know he's from Sweden, but did you buy him this summer or is he from your academy?
No, we bought him in January.
Birdman.
Lucas Bergvall. Bergvall.
I prefer Birdman.
Barcelona were on the report is Fabrizio said Barca. Hey?
Bird Boy. What's his name? I don't understand.
Bergvall.
Birdvall.
You just call him Birdman. Anyway, Barcelona wanted to buy him in January. They had basically a done deal, and then Tottenham swooped in and got him. So yeah, I think Victor Gyökeres. I don't think he'll join Arsenal because I think
two Swedish players. I'm just deep. Two Swedish. You got the Swedish connection with two players. It's hardly fucking ABBA.
Doesn't matter, mate.
It's not the French connection of Liverpool. Yeah, and Arsenal with French players back in the day. It's not the same sort of thing, is it?
Yeah, but I don't think Arsenal. I've said this 100 times. I don't think they need a striker. You scored 127 goals last year. Goals is not your issue. It's depth. If you get an injury to Saka, if you get an injury to Odegaard. Whereas Tottenham, if Richarlison goes, which me and Kate probably agree on this, we both hope he does, and if there's any football club out there that will pay that for him, it is a Saudi club. It becomes available. Are we going to... Well, who knows? I think it will be... Ivan Toney will be... If we do sell Richarlison, that will be the striker we go in for. But, you know, all the sources are now saying Heinz and God knows who in Portugal that we are prepared to buy him if Richarlison goes. I think the best thing... anyone would pay 60 million for Richarlison, first of all.
Well, Saudi, in it straight away. But, like, I just feel like if you're going to get the best out of Son, he needs to be out on the left-hand side and have a focal point from the middle. So that does make sense. And someone like Ivan Toney, who, you know, his finishing is great. He's someone who could bring a ball down as well. It makes a hell of a lot more sense. Way more sense.
What do you think? You're saying Nobbins. What do you say? Do you think Spurs could steal Victor Gyökeres from under the nose of Arsenal? And if so, how good a deal would that be?
If Arsenal wants him, I don't think they can. But as I understand it, they don't want him, so they probably can. I don't know what Spurs' ambition is this season. I was just about to ask Henry and Kate, like, what is
stay up?
Like,
what's
the realistic ceiling? Because, like, for example, if you know, Spurs finished 5th, was it?
Yeah.
So you could realistically look at. There's a lot of unknowns. I feel like going into next season. Aston Villa, how will they deal with Champions League football? Liverpool, totally new manager. Transfer windows maybe not going as they would have liked it yet. So there's maybe a potential for Spurs to cheekily, you know, squeeze their way above those two. So, like, is that a realistic thing? Is that your ceiling, or are you thinking more like sort of like 5th-ish again?
I just want a cup. I want a trophy next year. I'm not even thinking about the league. I just want a trophy. I can't even talk about my club at the minute. I'm listening to Henry talk about our players, and my tummy's shriveling up into a little walnut because it makes me feel so frustrated because we're just going to get left further and further behind. That's how I see it. You know, Ange wants players in early. Everyone was buzzing. We're going to get them in early, and here we are, and we still haven't bought anyone decent. Archie Gray bought him in, hardly a headliner. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit despondent with Tottenham at the minute. Not for the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
Kate, has it been a very... I know the summer's slower for everybody because of the Euros and Copa America, but with the sort of the buzz that was around Spurs last year and all the talk in the media and about backing Ange and going for it this season, mate, do you feel as though Ange has been let down so far by your board?
Yeah, 100%. They're setting him up to fail straight away. We're flying out on our pre-season tour over the next couple of days. He's got no new players to take with him. The same dross, you know. Ben Davies is on the plane, you know, for instance. Who's like, well, it was never that great anyway, but he's so past it, and he's got no time to gel these players together. I mean, people say, you know, oh well, I've got faith in Ange. Yeah, so have I. I've just got no faith in Daniel Levy at all. Ivan Toney should have been in by now. Eze should have been done immediately. I don't give a crap that the Euros is on. If you put the money on the table, we'd have got Eze on the spot. You know, we've got all this, oh, we're FFP kings, and yet we're sitting here scratching our ass, basically, signing 18-year-olds. And
look at Aston Villa. They've signed 8 players.
Yeah.
Well,
Villa have signed 8 players.
Don't you feel like the situation at Man United is a little bit like the situation at Spurs, where the board, you know, aren't really, you know, there's anger with the board. Obviously, Man United have got a brand new conglomerate in charge there now. But
I'd love that situation to be like Man United's right this second, because I think the business they're doing is excellent, which I don't like to say because I can see Terry's face. But they're doing good business at the minute. But
Henry likes
it's
it
the
too.
same. It's the same every year. We all say it's going to be different. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe it back the manager this time. Backing the manager isn't only about bringing in good players. It's bringing them in early so that they can gel and we can get partnerships in place. And it's just not happening. And I'm just like a bit meh with it at the minute.
Yeah, at least you signed a player, man.
But do you know what?
Sure.
It has gone and where I feel all the jokes aside, where I feel sorry for Tottenham is, again, I keep it as close as I can in everybody's clubs. I will never look at everybody else's in the same way I look into Man United, because I'm not a fan of those clubs. But I look at it and think, with the great start you had to last season, it fell apart. A large part was due to the lack of quality in the squad. And I think back to all those Tottenham fans said, nah, but look, with a good summer, with the backing of the manager, what we can go on to achieve next year could be unparalleled to anything else we've ever done in the Premier League. And I remember Kate, and I do remember Henry, and I remember a number of other Spurs fans all saying the same thing. But no manager ever gets back. No manager ever gets those brilliant summers. And the thing is, you could do it if you want to. The one thing that Spurs do not have as an excuse, and some of those sort of overly positive, the sort of the TPFs, the toxic positivity fans, is they're sort of like, they used to hide behind, but we're just Tottenham. We don't make that much money. Now you're one of the biggest turnovers in world football. You have zero excuse to not be spending. None. Absolutely zero. You know, and it's going to go up. Eventually, you're going to find. I mean, it has been 5 or 6 years. I think it's been about 5 years. You know, stadium's been open, hasn't it? But I mean, eventually, you're going to get a stadium sponsor. You will at some point, and I kind of get you holding out for the right money, but that's going to send your money skyrocketing again. As an example, the TV deal money for the Premier League goes up again over the next couple of years. So that's more money without Spurs lifting a finger. It's crazy to look at Spurs and see them not doing much. Look, City's is an interesting one, but they've still got the best team in the world. So even if they only had 1 or 2 players, they're still up here already. You know, Arsenal have got a team that's very, very good, and they've already added a centre-back to it. It's only been delayed because of other clubs' issues, not their own. They'll sign a couple more. Liverpool's will get onto. I mean, but Liverpool kind of do this, but you wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool pull something out the bag. But for Tottenham, I think we all know the pattern, and it will probably be by Christmas, if the squad hasn't been improved,
It'll be
Ange out. Is a fraud. A new manager comes in, you get a little spike. Oh, we're gonna back this one. You never do, and it goes on and goes on and goes on and goes on. And I do feel a little bit sorry for the Tottenham fans who are level-headed. They have their feet firmly planted on the ground, that can see what's coming a mile away. And yeah, I do feel for you. I really do.